In the heart of Europe, a magnificent river begins its life. It starts as a tiny spring bubbling up from the ground high in the snowy Julian Alps of Slovenia. This is the Sava River. From this small beginning, it grows into a powerful force of nature, traveling for nearly 1,000 kilometers through countries like Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Serbia. It is a journey through some of Europe's most beautiful and wild landscapes. The river winds its way through deep green valleys and across vast, open plains, gathering strength from the many smaller rivers and streams that join it along its course. This is a river with a long and storied history, a lifeblood for the land it passes through. As the Sava continues its long journey eastward, it carves and shapes the world around it. It is not just a line of water on a map. It is a creator of landscapes. The river carries with it tiny bits of rock and soil, called sediment, which it has picked up from the mountains. When the river slows down, it drops this sediment, building up new land, islands, and fertile banks. For centuries, this process has created a rich and varied environment. The Sava eventually completes its epic journey by flowing into an even larger river, the famous Danube, in the city of Belgrade. It becomes a tributary, adding its own mighty waters to the Danube's flow towards the Black Sea. The path of the Sava is not always straight or predictable. It twists and turns, creating gentle curves and wide loops called meanders. These bends slow the water down, allowing it to spread out and nourish the surrounding land. Along its banks, lush forests of willow and poplar trees thrive, their roots holding the soil together and providing homes for countless creatures. The river is a dynamic system, constantly changing and evolving. Its character shifts with the seasons, from a gentle flow in the dry summer months to a powerful, rushing torrent during the spring floods. This constant change is what makes the Sava so special and full of life. This great Balkan river is more than just water. It is a corridor of life that connects mountains to plains and people to nature. It has witnessed the rise and fall of empires and has been a source of inspiration for poets and artists for generations. Its waters tell a story of geological time, of ice ages that carved its path, and of the slow, steady work of erosion and deposition that continues to this day. Following the Sava from its alpine source to its confluence with the Danube is to witness the incredible power and beauty of the natural world. It is a journey that reveals how a single river can support such a rich tapestry of life and culture. The Sava River does not just stay within its banks. In Croatia, it spills out to create one of Europe's most astonishing natural wonders, a vast and sprawling wetland. This area is a huge, flat plain that acts like a giant natural sponge. For much of the year, the land is a mosaic of wet meadows, marshes, and shallow lakes, all connected by the river's slow-moving waters. This is a world where the line between land and water is often blurred. The amount of water here is immense, but it is also wonderfully unpredictable. Sometimes the fields are green and dotted with wildflowers. At other times, they disappear completely beneath a shimmering sheet of water. This abundance of water is the secret to the region's incredible richness. The wetlands are not a mistake of nature. They are a perfectly designed system. When heavy rains fall or snow melts in the mountains, the Sava River swells. Instead of causing destructive floods in towns and cities downstream, the river gently overflows into these wide, open plains. The wetlands soak up the extra water, holding it safely until the river level drops again. This natural flood protection is immensely important, saving homes and farms from being washed away. It is a brilliant example of how nature, when left to its own devices, can manage its own powerful forces in a way that benefits everyone. The landscape is in a constant state of flux, ruled by the rhythm of the river. What is a dry pasture one month might become a shallow lake the next. This ever-changing environment creates a huge variety of habitats for wildlife. The The shallow sun-warmed waters are perfect for tiny plants and insects to grow, which in turn provide food for fish and birds. The wet soil is soft and rich, ideal for plants that can tolerate having their feet wet. This dynamic interplay of water and land makes the Sava Wetlands a place of endless discovery, where the scene is never the same from one season to the next. Living in this watery world requires special adaptations. The plants and animals that call this place home are experts at dealing with floods and droughts. Oak trees here have learned to survive having their roots submerged for months at a time. Fish can travel far across the flooded fields to find new places to feed and lay their eggs. This constant change, which might seem chaotic to us, is the very pulse of life in the Sava Wetlands. It is this unpredictability that fuels the extraordinary biodiversity of the region, making it a truly unique and vibrant ecosystem. When the spring floods arrive, the Sava Wetlands transform into a gigantic nursery for countless young creatures. The warm, shallow waters that spread across the plains are the perfect place for new life to begin. Frogs and toads gather in huge numbers, their calls filling the air as they lay their eggs in the temporary pools. These eggs soon hatch into tadpoles, which feast on the abundant algae. For them, the flood is a safe haven, a vast food-rich environment free from the larger fish that patrol the main river channel. It is a race against time to grow into frogs before the water recedes. The arrival of so much water also signals a time of plenty for the birds. Ducks and geese lead their fluffy ducklings across the flooded meadows, teaching them to dabble for food in the shallows. You might even see a truly wonderful sight, a great crested grebe with its stripy chicks riding on its back. The parents provide a safe, floating platform for their young, protecting them from predators lurking below the surface. The wetlands become a bustling metropolis of bird families, with parents working tirelessly to feed their hungry offspring. The air is filled with the chirps and calls of the next generation. This explosion of new life creates a complex and fascinating food web. The abundance of tadpoles, small fish, and insects attracts predators from all around. A graceful white stork might be seen stalking silently through the shallows, its sharp eyes looking for a frog. A kingfisher, a flash of electric blue, might dive into the water to catch a tiny fish. But sometimes the hunter becomes the hunted. There are stories of large Wels catfish, giants that can grow to be several meters long, lying in wait to snatch an unsuspecting bird from the water's surface. It is a dramatic world of eat and be eaten. This period of flood is absolutely critical for the survival of so many species. It is not just a time of danger, but a time of incredible opportunity. The fish that spread out across the plains are not only feeding, they are spawning, laying their eggs among the submerged grasses. These flooded fields act as a vast fish hatchery, producing the enormous numbers of fish that the entire ecosystem depends on. Without these annual floods, the whole web of life would collapse. The wetlands are not just a home, they are the engine room of life for the entire river system. The Sava Wetlands are home to some truly remarkable animals with strange and wonderful habits. Among the most curious are the spoonbills. These large white birds are named for their extraordinary beaks, which are long, flat, and shaped exactly like a spoon. They do not peck at their food like other birds. Instead, they wade through the shallow water with their beaks slightly open, sweeping their heads from side to side. When they feel a small fish, shrimp, or insect touch the inside of their spoon, they snap it shut instantly. It is a highly specialized and effective way of finding a meal in the murky water. Another amazing sight is the Posavac horse, a special breed that has lived in these wetlands for centuries. These sturdy, calm animals are perfectly adapted to the wet environment. During the floods, when pastures are submerged, they do not panic. Instead, they wade calmly into the water, sometimes swimming from one grassy island to another to find food. They will even dip their heads completely underwater to graze on submerged plants. Seeing a herd of horses bathing and playing in the cool river on a hot summer's day is a magical experience, a symbol of the deep connection between animals and this unique landscape. The river itself is home to some formidable predators. The Wels catfish is a true giant, a big-mouthed fish that can grow larger than a person. It is the king of the river's depths, a master of ambush. It often hides in deep, murky pools or beneath sunken logs, waiting for prey to swim by. With its huge, gaping mouth, it can swallow fish, frogs, and even ducks whole. These ancient-looking creatures are a reminder of the wild, untamed nature that still exists within the Sava. They are a vital part of the ecosystem, keeping the populations of other fish in balance. The strange behaviors are not limited to the big animals. Even the fish have their tricks. One species, the asp, is a fast and agile predator. It hunts in a very clever way. It will swim at high speed towards a shoal of smaller fish near the surface, and then, at the last moment, it will smack the water with its tail. The loud noise and splash stun the small fish, making them easy to catch. It is this incredible variety of life and the fascinating ways that animals have adapted to survive here that make the Sava Wetlands such an enchanting and important place. For centuries, people have lived in harmony with the Sava's changing waters. They have not tried to conquer the river but have learned to adapt to its powerful rhythms. The villages here are often built on slightly higher ground, safe from the highest floodwaters. Many of the traditional houses are beautiful wooden structures built on tall posts or stilts. This clever design lifts the living quarters high above the ground. When the floods come, the water can flow freely underneath the house without causing any damage. It is a style of architecture born from a deep understanding and respect for the power of the river. Farming in the wetlands is also done in a way that works with nature, not against it. Instead of growing crops that would be destroyed by the floods, people raise animals that can thrive in this environment. Herds of Turopolye pigs, a rare and ancient breed with thick, curly hair like a sheep, roam freely through the oak forests. They use their strong snouts to dig for acorns, roots, and grubs in the rich soil. These pigs are incredibly hardy and are perfectly at home in the wet conditions. This traditional way of farming helps to maintain the landscape, as the pigs' digging helps to turn over the soil and allow new plants to grow. The vast common pastures are a key feature of this traditional lifestyle. For hundreds of years, villagers have had the right to graze their animals, cows, horses, and pigs, on these huge areas of shared land. This practice continues to this day. In the morning, the animals are let out of their barns and they wander across the plains to graze. In the evening, they find their own way back home. This free-roaming existence means the animals are healthy and strong, and it creates a landscape that looks almost like an ancient European wilderness, dotted with peacefully grazing herds. This way of life preserves not only the landscape, but also a rich cultural heritage. The old customs, stories, and knowledge of how to live with the river are passed down from generation to generation. People understand the signs of a coming flood and know which plants are safe for their animals to eat. This intimate connection to the land is becoming rare in the modern world. The Sava Wetlands are one of the last places in Europe where you can see this ancient pact between humans and nature still thriving, a living museum of a more sustainable way of life. When winter arrives in the Sava Valley, it brings a dramatic change. The vibrant greens of summer fade and the landscape is painted in shades of gray and brown. A deep cold descends upon the land and the once flowing waters of the river begin to slow down and freeze. The shallow lakes and flooded plains are the first to turn to ice, their surfaces becoming vast, silent sheets of white. Even the mighty Sava River itself can freeze over in parts, with huge chunks of ice jostling and grinding against each other as they float downstream. The world becomes quiet, locked in winter's grip. For the animals that remain, winter is a time of great challenge and survival. The fish, like the hardy brown trout, seek refuge in the deepest parts of the river where the water does not freeze solid. Here, their bodies slow down and they use very little energy, waiting patiently for the spring thaw. Not all birds fly south for the winter. The little dipper, an amazing bird, stays behind. It can walk on the riverbed completely submerged, searching for small insects and larvae under the stones. You might also see a gray heron standing motionless at the edge of the ice, hoping to snatch a fish from the freezing water. On the frozen land, mammals must use all their skill to find food. A red fox, its coat thick and warm, might be seen trotting across the snow, its keen ears listening for the faintest sound of a mouse moving underneath. Graceful white swans huddle together in the few remaining patches of open water, their breath turning to mist in the cold air. Herds of wild boar use their powerful snouts to plow through the frozen ground, searching for roots and anything else edible. Every creature must adapt its behavior to survive the harshness of the long, cold months. But winter is not just a time of hardship, it is also a time of rest and preparation. The freezing temperatures help to break down dead plants, which will release their nutrients back into the soil when the thaw comes. The snow that falls in the mountains accumulates, storing the water that will be released in the spring to create the life-giving floods. Winter is a necessary part of the cycle. It is a quiet, challenging, but beautiful season that sets the stage for the explosive return of life that will come with the warmth of the sun. As the days grow longer and the sun gains strength, the great winter freeze begins to lose its grip. The change is slow at first, a gentle melting at the edges of the ice. But soon, the thaw accelerates. The snow in the distant Alps begins to melt and a huge amount of water starts its journey down towards the plains. The ice on the Sava River groans and cracks, breaking up into enormous plates that crash and tumble downstream. This is a powerful and noisy spectacle, the river reawakening from its winter sleep. The spring thaw has begun, and with it comes the flood. This annual flood is not a disaster, it is the most important event of the year. The river swells and gently spills over its banks, spreading a shallow layer of water across tens of thousands of hectares of floodplain. This water is not just water, it is rich with nutrients and sediment carried all the way from the mountains. As the water spreads out and slows down, it drops this precious cargo, delivering a fresh layer of fertile silt to the meadows and forests. This natural fertilization is what makes the soil so incredibly rich, allowing the lush grasses and ancient oak forests to thrive without the need for artificial chemicals. The animals know exactly how to take advantage of this new, watery world. The flooded meadows become a vast, temporary fishing ground for thousands of birds. Storks, herons, and egrets arrive in great numbers, feasting on the fish and frogs that are now easy to catch in the shallow water. The Turopolje pigs, which spent the winter in the forests, now wade into the shallows. They use their sensitive snouts to dig in the soft, wet mud, searching for tasty roots and worms. For them, the flood brings a welcome change in diet and a new landscape to explore. This process is also vital for the towns and villages downstream. By holding back the enormous volume of floodwater, the Sava wetlands act as a natural safety valve for the entire river system. The plains absorb the flood's peak, releasing the water slowly and steadily over many weeks. This prevents catastrophic flooding in cities further down the river. It is a perfect natural system where the needs of wildlife and people are met in a single, magnificent process. The spring awakening is a celebration of the power and generosity of the river. The Sava wetlands are one of the last great natural treasures of their kind in Europe. They are a living example of a landscape that has been shaped not by human hands, but by the ancient and powerful rhythms of a river. This region is a hotspot of biodiversity, a term that simply means it is home to an incredible variety of different plants and animals. From the giant Danube salmon, a rare fish that can only live in the cleanest rivers, to the tiniest insect, every creature plays a part in this complex and beautiful web of life. The traditional farming practices that have existed here for centuries are a vital part of this success story. The free-roaming pigs, cows, and horses help to maintain the open pastures, preventing them from turning into dense, impenetrable forest. This creates a mosaic of different habitats: forest, meadow, marsh, and river, that allows so many different species to live side by side. This is a rare example of how people can use the land in a way that actually helps wildlife to flourish. It is a partnership between humans and nature that has been perfected over many generations. However, this precious world is fragile. In many parts of Europe, rivers have been straightened, dammed, and contained within high concrete walls. Wetlands have been drained to make way for intensive agriculture or new buildings. These actions destroy the natural floodplains and the rich biodiversity they support. The Sava wetlands have so far escaped the worst of this damage, which is why they remain so special. They are a living reminder of what much of Europe's river landscapes once looked like, and a vital sanctuary for species that have disappeared from other areas. Protecting the Sava wetlands is not just about saving rare birds or ancient pigs. It is about preserving a whole system that benefits us all. It is about protecting a natural flood defense system that is more effective and far cheaper than any engineered solution. It is about safeguarding a rich cultural heritage and a more sustainable way of life. This enchanting land of living water is a gift, a masterpiece of nature that we have a responsibility to cherish and protect for all the generations to come. It is a treasure that once lost can never be replaced.